Vanessa. And Vanessa, we're going to touch on the point, talking about skills development. We heard from the earlier panelists that we need the regulatory environment to be able to support a sustainable film and production industry. But I want to find out, in terms of the skills that are coming through, how do we grow the kind of skills that can produce the products that we want, but that can also sustain the kind of industry that we're trying to grow?
It's a tough question just to answer in one little paragraph. I represent the part of the animation space from Cape Town and Triggerfish Animation Studios, and navigating this space is so complex because not only are you trying to just keep the lights on with a business, you're also very heavily invested in learnership, scholarships, opportunities, finding gaps, making sure that your stories are extremely authentic, that there are diverse voices and artists involved with that producing of the product. So there's so many areas you have to navigate through and try and plug at different areas. And I think one of the big things I've seen in the last sort of 4 or 5 years in animation is to make sure that our writers are the best writers for the space, for the story, and that you can then take that story, find the broadcaster, find the investor who's going to help bring that to the screen and try and connect the dots, build a bridge to try and make sure that that story gets told, and surround that team of writers with the best chances for this to get made. And it's tough to see. I work at the moment on a Netflix original called Mama K's Team 4, and it's the first animated African original picked up. And quite amazingly, it's an all-female writers' room, all women of color who are from the continent, and they're writing a series that's set in Lusaka in Zambia. And it was something so important for us to make sure that these women who've previously written in live action could transition into animation and not only work in this space and work with big LA head writers and be groomed in the animation space, that they could then plant seeds for their own series after this, and to be able to be brought into writers' rooms in animation after this project as well. And that journey has been a 2-year journey just with the writing team. And so I really believe strongly in focusing on an area. And at the moment, as Triggerfish, we're focused heavily on the talent who want to tell a story, shaping that writer into writing the best story that's going to go global, and then putting a pre-production team around that story to make sure that we're not only pitching and getting investment from the Netflixes, the HBO Max, the Disney Plus investment, but then also being able to do the pre-production on the continent and make sure that the post-production stays here. And I think those are the areas we're focused on at the moment. And there's only so much skills dev we can do on any given project. And those are really the areas we're focused on at the moment, and really making sure there's a team where we've got international consultants, we've got an international head writer, we've got an art director who's based in Europe but who's working with local artists to make sure the pre-production is production ready. So those are the ways we've been doing skills dev and trying to bridge the gap since about 2015, and our very first story lab, which then became a writers lab. And we're actually in the middle of doing an African anthology now, which is almost like a directors lab, and essentially focus on directors, helping them pitch their stories, get that funding, and let's make some great African stories. So it's been a 5-year journey, but we're trying to compartmentalize so that we can make sure that those people who get an opportunity actually can execute, and that can get produced, and it can be excellent, and it can be received worldwide with applause. So that's really, it's a slow journey, but that's really how we've been doing it.
It's a slow journey, but we definitely are getting there. Thank you so much for that, Vanessa.